So I've been getting a lot of questions on LinkedIn lately on how to get started with machine learning. So I thought I'd make a video.
A little bit about me before we get started. My name is Hillary and I just graduated from biomedical engineering at the University of Waterloo. For those who don't know University of Waterloo, it's kind of like the Stanford of Canada or the MIT of the North. We're known for being an intern farm, popping out interns for FAANG companies, so Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, etc. And I was also lucky enough to work in Silicon Valley as a data scientist. And now I'm off to do my master's at U of T. I'm studying computer science and I'll be affiliated with Vector Institute. And for those who don't know, Vector Institute is a pretty sexy place to be for AI, since Geoffrey Hinton is a professor there and he's the godfather of machine learning. So just a disclaimer, everyone is different and will require different paths to get to the same destination. This is just what worked for me and it might not work for you. However, I'll try to make this advice as applicable to the general public as possible. So without further ado, let's get to the video. So the AI community is constantly and rapidly growing. What is state of the art now might not be state of the art tomorrow because people are constantly publishing new machine learning algorithms. So it's important for you to pick up new concepts relatively quick. Therefore, it's extremely important to have a strong technical foundation. So once you've mastered the basics, you'll notice that many machine learning algorithms have similar patterns to them, and you'll be able to pick up new concepts relatively quickly. I'll actually list the course codes of some Stanford courses so that you can read the syllabus and find an equivalent course offered at your school or online. So I recommend Stanford's Stat 60, Introduction to Statistical Methods, Stanford's Math 51, Linear Algebra, and Stanford's Math 19, Calculus. So as for coding, you should know data structures and algorithms as well as databases. And the courses that I recommend are Stanford's CS161, Design and Analysis of Algorithms, Stanford's CS145, Data Management and Data Systems. As for what programming languages you should know, I highly recommend Python, SQL, and R. And once you get into deep learning, then you can learn TensorFlow and PyTorch. So once you've mastered the basics, I highly recommend Andrew Ng's Introduction to Machine Learning.
So this is an 11-week course taught by Andrew Ng, who's the co-founder of Google Brain. In this course, you'll learn about the mathematics and the theory behind different supervised and unsupervised machine learning algorithms. Andrew Ng is a very good instructor, and he makes difficult concepts easy to understand. Overall, this course is a great way to get started with machine learning, and I highly recommend it. Don't be surprised though if everyone and their mom has taken this course, because it's very popular in the machine learning world.
So if you have an undergrad degree in engineering or computer science, then it'll be a much easier transition for you into machine learning. But if you don't, then don't worry because there's plenty of resources online for you to learn. So machine learning models are a lot easier to implement than you think because of the copious amounts of open source code online and the libraries that you can call. Most of the time, you don't actually need to understand how the algorithm works, you just need to call it. Though I highly recommend that you actually know how the algorithm works. So you should pick a side project that you're genuinely interested in. And once you're finished, you can put it on your resume, report what your project does, what results did your model achieve, what libraries and languages did you use. And there's plenty of resources online for you and tutorials that you can follow on how to implement some basic machine learning models. So some resources I recommend are YouTube videos and Medium articles.
A great place to get started coding is Google Colab. Google Colab is a free online cloud-based Jupyter Notebook environment that allows you to train your machine learning and deep learning models on CPUs, GPUs, and TPUs. To create a new notebook, you must first sign into your Google account, then navigate to collab.research.google.com. Then click on File, New Notebook. Once you create a new notebook, you can name your file and change your runtime to GPU or TPU. The default runtime is CPU. You can add code cells by clicking on the plus code button, or markdown cells by clicking on the plus text button. To run a cell, click on the cell you want to run and press Command Enter for Mac or Control Enter for PC, or click on the Run arrow. You also have the option of running all the cells at once using Runtime, Run All. To delete cells, click on the trash can button on the top right corner of the cell. To save your notebook, press Command S for Mac or Control S for PC. This is an example notebook tutorial that classifies images of clothing from the Fashion MNIST dataset using a simple neural network. This tutorial is a fast-paced overview of a TensorFlow program. First, we want to import the necessary libraries such as TensorFlow and NumPy. Then, we want to import the Fashion MNIST dataset from the Keras datasets. This dataset contains black and white images of clothing and their corresponding labels. The images are 28 by 28 NumPy arrays with pixel values ranging from 0 to 255. The labels are an array of integers ranging from 0 to 9, with each integer corresponding to a particular clothing article type. Here we normalize the images by dividing by 255 such that the pixel values range from 0 to 1. Here we visualize the top 25 training images by looping through the first 25 training images and plotting each one using matplotlib's pyplot. Now it's time to build the model. This is a diagram of the fully connected neural network with a 784 by 1 input layer corresponding to the flattened input image, a 128 hidden layer with a ReLU activation function. ReLU stands for Rectified Linear Unit and is the most commonly used activation function for neural networks. It outputs the input directly if positive, otherwise it will output 0. And a 10 by 1 output layer with each output neuron corresponding to a clothing article type. Here we declare the atom optimizer with a categorical cross-entropy loss function. The atom optimizer is a stochastic gradient descent method that minimizes the loss function by iteratively updating the weights in the neural network. Ideally, the average training loss per epoch of the model should decrease after each epoch. Categorical cross-entropy is the loss function that is used for classification tasks where there are multiple classes. This is the formula for categorical cross-entropy, where y hat is the model's predicted probabilities of each class and y is the true label. In this case, there are multiple clothing article types corresponding to the label. The metrics parameter is set to accuracy to monitor the training and testing steps. In our case, accuracy represents the fraction of clothing images that are correctly classified by the model. Don't worry if this is confusing. For now, we just need to know how to implement the neural network, but most of the theory behind understanding neural networks can be found in Andrew Ng's Intro to Machine Learning course. Now let's train the model for 10 epochs. Note that the final training accuracy is 93.25%. Finally, we test the model on the testing dataset. The testing accuracy is 88.13%, which is pretty good. So to make predictions, all you have to do is add a softmax layer to normalize the output scores from 0 to 1. Then use the predict method on a test image. This will return a 10 by 1 array representing the probabilities of each class. In order to get the label, take the argmax of this vector. This returns the class with the highest probability. In this case, the 9th index has the highest probability. Here we correctly predicted the image to be an ankle boot. If you want to replicate this tutorial, I'll provide a link in the description box down below.
Keep in mind that most machine learning research positions will require a master's degree or more. It's just a highly competitive field and it's specialized, so higher education is almost a must, though there are exceptions, especially if you work at startups. If you're set on going to industry without a master's degree, there's a very small chance that you'll be building state-of-the-art machine learning models. Though there are exceptions, like I said earlier, you'll likely be given data analysis tasks, as well as building some already established machine learning models to industry-specific applications. So data analysis can be quite rewarding as well, and you might even like it better than machine learning research, and that's why I think it's really important to do side projects, take courses, and just figure out what resonates with you, because the data science field is so large. So feel free to send me messages if you want to ask for more advice. Smash that like button and subscribe. Also comment down below why you're interested in machine learning and what other videos you'd be interested in seeing me film.